After visiting the Everglades, I'm driving through Big Cypress National Preserve on my way to a KOA in Fort Myers, Florida, where I have a campsite booked for 3 nights. Along my way, I spotted a visitor center for Big Cypress and decided to make an impromptu stop. We're going on an adventure. Okay, so I decided to make a quick stop at the Big Cypress Visitor Center. It's kind of an unplanned stop, but I drove right past it. You know, Big Cypress has been something that's kind of been on my radar for a while, and I'm driving right through it. It seemed like a crime not to at least stop and check it out. Yeah, I don't know if I'll go for any like hikes here or anything, but there's a boardwalk or something to check out. Maybe I'll do that. But yeah, let's take a look. Big Cypress is a national preserve near the Everglades, which spans across 720,000 acres of southern Florida. It was one of the first national preserves named, and its wet cypress forest is home to alligators, crocodiles, along with venomous snakes, many birds, deer, black bears, and cougars. There's so many alligators. Do not want to drop my phone here, that's for sure. That one gator was at least 9-10 feet. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Doesn't look like this boardwalk goes for very far, but I am right next to the Florida Trail. I think maybe I'll just take a quick walk on that. Probably won't go too far, but I'd like to just see a little bit of the sights around here. So many gators. More of those gar down there. The Florida Trail is a 1,500-mile hiking trail which begins right here at the trail's southern terminus and goes north and west through most of the state to the western end of the Florida Panhandle. Today I'll be walking a distance of the trail that's too short to even count, but I thought it was a cool landmark nonetheless, and I wanted to walk along a little bit of the trail even though I still have more driving ahead of me. The start of the trail runs along an airstrip, and it didn't look like there was much else to see without hiking a longer distance, so I decided to turn back. Okay, well that was the shortest of short walks on the Florida Trail. Doesn't really seem like there's a whole lot to see right here, aside from the gators being the main attraction. I noticed an interesting symbiotic relationship where some of the fish were eating algae that had been growing on the alligator's skin. This was a short but fun stop on a day of driving. I stayed on the boardwalk for a while longer to look at all the alligators before hitting the road again. Florida is the flattest state in the U.S., with the maximum elevation being only 345 feet above sea level. I was passing through an area that was home to many of the big cats that live in the state, and I was seeing some road signs that I had never seen before. I arrived at my campsite for the next couple days. I had gone on some pretty big adventures recently, and I decided to rest and regroup for a bit before continuing onward. Alright, well, I'm out here at the KOA in Fort Myers, Florida. I was here yesterday and today. I'm leaving tomorrow. I've been doing a little bit of editing, but I've also kind of just been relaxing. Kind of have a little bit of a low-key couple days here, which is nice. The KOA has a pool, so I was taking advantage of that, and a hot tub, so kind of chill couple days. I'm going to slowly start heading back north pretty soon. Hopefully a few more destinations along the way. But yeah, more to come. Cheers. My time at the KOA went by in a blink, and before I knew it, it was time to hit the road again. I drove through Orlando on my way to stay with my godfather Bill and his partner Mike for a couple days in Daytona Beach. I passed by Volcano Bay, which is a water park that my brother raves about. I may have to go there sometime. I don't think I've ever seen a pickup truck on hydraulics outside of the state of Florida. Once in Daytona Beach, Bill, Mike, and I visited Tomoka State Park, which derives its name from the Tomoka Native Americans who once inhabited the area. The park features a large statue depicting Chief Tomoka, who was said to have drunk from a sacred spring before his heart was pierced by the arrow of an opposing tribe. The park also sits on the Halifax River and has an overall peaceful vibe and is a good place for hiking, kayaking, or viewing wildlife. We spotted 2 dolphins while we were there.
There it is. Oh, yeah.
A lot of the drive around the park runs below a scenic canopy of palm trees and Spanish moss. The thing that's interesting to me about palm trees in like Florida or California or even Arizona is that when you're here, you don't really think much about them. They're kind of just everywhere you look. When you're entering into these zones, they're kind of impressive for like the first time or 2 or 10 times that you see them. But after that, you don't really think much about them. And yet it's a sign that you're somewhere warm. It's a sign that's kind of unique to the area that you're in. And you'll never see it in most areas of the country. But the same can be said about other areas. Down here in Florida is completely flat and they have no mountains whatsoever. So somewhere like the Adirondacks or the Rockies or Appalachia is completely foreign to somewhere like here. It's one of the things that I find interesting about travel is that you can go places where you can experience things that you would not experience at home. And a lot of people take for granted the features that they have by them, and other things that somebody else might take for granted might seem completely foreign and exotic. But once you're there, it doesn't seem so foreign anymore. Still not really looking forward to going back up north to the cold though, you know?
Well, that's all for this time. Please join me next week when I explore the Ponce Inlet Lighthouse before heading back up north. If you've enjoyed the video, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. But like always, until next time, catch you later. Peace.